Did you see that the freaking Braves traded for Eric Fetty?
Yes. And then you see who they traded for earlier today?
No.
Carlos Carrasco.
Gross. I would not want to be like I love the Braves and I enjoy watching them, but I wouldn't want to be like a diehard Braves fan right now because this means the season's over. Like if you have to be like, all right, Fetty, you got dropped by the Cardinals. We're actually going to have to sign you because we have nobody to eat innings. And then you have to sign Carlos Carrasco. It's just a sign that the season's just got. It's like it's lost. Like I don't know how you come back from that.
So going into the day before they got, or last night before they got Fetty, they had Bryce Elder, Joey Wentz, and Spencer Strider. That was their rotation.
That's so freaking bad. Hey, what happened to Oscar?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Last I saw, he was in Gwinnett, and that was like 2 years ago, I feel like.
It's probably in Korea by now. Just like when you have to like, because Eric Fetty was dropped like almost like famously by the Cardinals after last year's trade deadline deal and his terrible season so far this year, and they just
1-9.
They just DFA'd him. So like it was kind of sizable baseball news because of the embarrassment. And then the Braves are like, maybe nobody will notice. No, we saw it. Y'all ain't got a prayer. This is not good. So I don't.
Yeah, it's desperation mode in the ATL right now.
I mean, they should have signed Freed. Like they, I don't. I. That was such a fumble. I don't know. I don't know why they did that. I don't get it. I don't think I ever will, honestly. So
For as much as he tried, or AA and the management has tried to save money over the course of the last 3-4 years, and then to let basically the cornerstone of your rotation just say, "Hey, sorry guys, see you later." It's kind of flabbergasting to me.
yeah, it's wild. I don't know. It's something, but whatever. Hey, do you know what 108 stands for?
I don't even have a good answer for you tonight.
If you stretched out all of Nick Kurtz home runs in one line, they go for 108 miles.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, right? What's going on, everybody? This is another episode of the 108 Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, with my boy Chris, and let's get into it. Episode 7 got a whole lot of deep stuff to talk about. Let's talk about Nick Kurtz. He's the talk of the town this weekend. He's hit, I don't know, a bajillion home runs, caught up a billion freaking RBIs, and well, he's on a tear. Does this make him the Rookie of the Year now?
I mean, even before this game, I think he was kind of on pace to go that route. I mean, he's been up since middle or towards the end of May, and I mean, dude's already got 23 home runs, like he's pushing close to 60 RBIs, I believe. He went from 230, 240, and now I think he's pushing 280, right around 280. Back-to-back AL Player of the Weeks. I mean, just on an absolute burner right now.
Well, is it him or is teammate Jacob Wilson? I mean, both of them are both rookies, technically speaking. Both of them crushing it. Jacob was an all-star. Nick Kurtz, not an all-star, right?
Not an all-star.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really know a ton more AL rookies. I mean, you got like Roman Anthony's come up. He's fizzled out. Jack
Caglione,
Caglione has fizzled out.
and hell, he's on the IL now.
Yeah. So I don't really know that many other AL rookies that would take that. But anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. So on Friday night, he hit 4 home runs, 2 doubles, and a single. 7 hits, 7 for 7, right?
No, 6 for 6.
Oh, so he didn't have the single, right? He had 2 doubles. Okay,
No, he
sorry.
had no. So 4 home runs, double, single, 8
Okay.
RBIs.
I don't know why I'm just inventing the second double. Okay, well, he had 18 RBIs, is that right?
No, 8 RBIs, 19
That
total bases,
how is that right? 8 RBIs on 4 home runs? Jeez. Get on base, guys.
and almost hit a 5th home run too.
Maybe I should look at the notes better. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
if he had been, I think there were like 3 ballparks. If they had been playing in, he'd have hit 5 home runs. But I mean,
absolutely.
it wasn't like they were cheap either. I mean, yeah, they went. I think 2 of them went into the Crawford boxes in left field in Houston, but they weren't just like a little measly pop up. I mean, they were pissed on.
Yeah, he definitely roped it. The third one, especially the first two were oppos, and then the third one was just absolutely smoked. I think the fourth one was an opposite field home runs. Doesn't matter. He absolutely crushed the baseball, and he did it at will. It was wild, very fun to watch. I really enjoyed kind of watching it, and it wasn't against some slouch. It was against the Astros. I'd like to see what pitchers he was up against that night, but it was, I mean, it was very impressive stuff. I'll be honest with you. It looked great. He looked great, and I feel like if you had a slugger that you could base your team around, he's it. So the Athletics better start to figure out how to pinch some pennies when they get to Vegas. Figure out how to pay this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, and you've already brought up, Jacob Wilson, and you think you got Lawrence Butler, Shea Langeliers, Denzel Clark. Now Denzel Clark's more of a defensive guy, but I mean, they've got a good core group of young talent that they're putting together like on the field right now.
Well, if they
If they
don't
were
sell
playing,
Brent Rooker,
yeah, true.
yeah,
I didn't even think about Brent Rooker there for a second. So they've got the talent to build off of. They just can't. They got to get out of Sacramento. It's not conducive to major league hitters. I say it's not conducive to major league hitters. It's not conducive to major league pitchers,
uh-huh.
and it's going to hurt them in the long run. But offensively, I mean, this should be a team to force to be reckoned with for the next 5-6 years if they do things right.
Yeah, but they never do though. That's the thing with the Athletics. So they sell these guys so cheap, they get nothing back, and they refuse to sign people to long term contracts. I don't get it. It's like they think that they're going to hit lightning in a bottle and just make a run for it for like no money, and then suddenly they'll sell enough tickets into some phantom stadium to where they'll be rich. Like I truly don't understand their mentality on how to make money. Obviously, I'm not a millionaire, billionaire, whatever they have to be to own a baseball team, but I don't get it, and I don't think they get it. So
Yeah,
I think we're all in
I
the
mean,
same boat.
yeah, I mean, literally, they signed the richest contract in their franchise's history this off season, and it was Severino. I think it was 3 years and like $65 million, and that's crazy to think. That's a major league team that's literally doing anything and everything they can to just kind of float by and stay under the radar and not spend a lot of money, but at the same time, like they've had so many guys historically, at least even think of the since Moneyball years until now that have either or that started their careers there, made it big, and then got absolutely paid somewhere else.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get it with the A's. They just don't seem to get it, in my opinion. But I love Nick Kurtz, and I think he's going to be great for him as a rookie. They should already start making plans to try and find a way to retain him and not try and sell him for pennies. Like this is the kind of talent that looks like it's real and quick.
And to think he was at Wake Forest just over a year ago.
He ran through the minors. They didn't have much of a choice. I mean, they're not a good team, and he just blew it up. So put him up there, see what he can do, and he's ran away with it. It's like a lot like Juan Soto, honestly, like who's just like he can't be down here.
Yeah, no, it would do him an injustice to keep him down longer, facing guys that he is clearly better than. Hell, he's clearly better than most of the pitchers he's seeing right now. And I just looked it up. And he's hitting 309 right now, 59 RBIs and 23 jacks. And let's see, I think it's 59 games.
That's almost a home run. It's a home run in every third game, is what that is.
Sorry, 67 games.
Still, like a home run, like every third game. That's some wild stuff right there. That's some good consistency. That's I would take that all day, every day. Give me that. But let's get back to the actual feat at hand, because pound for pound, this might be one of the single greatest offensive games in the history of baseball. So I say that because it's only been done 19 times. 19 different guys have hit 4 home runs in a game in the MLB history.
He makes the 20.
I'm only seeing 19.
Yeah, there's 20 now. He made number 20.
I don't. Oh, you know what? Now I see it. I see it right. Okay, my bad. I misread that. That was whatever baseballalmanac.com has this thing all thrown. Anyway, 20 guys have hit 4 home runs in a single game, and he has had so much success at such a young age. The average age for this feat is 27 years old. He's 22. Makes for the newest one of this group of 20. First person to do it looks like it was Ed Delahanty from the Phillies in 1896. Whew. But do you recall? Do you recall some of these games? I do, because I remember Mike Cameron's. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember Mike Cameron, Delgado, Sean Green. Sean Green was.
I remember Sean Green's.
His was the year where he was pushing for 60, and he ended up sitting out for, I forgot what Jewish holiday it was. I want to say it was Yom Kippur. Like, he didn't play Friday night and Saturday, and everyone was like, "Oh no, he's not going to do it." And he hit it that year, and then obviously I remember Eugenio Suarez is from earlier this year.
Yeah, which is crazy. That's 2 in one single year. Also in 2002, the Sean Green and Mike Cameron year, that one also had 2 pairs of those. But it's such a crazy thing. In 2017, Scooter Gennett, JD Martinez.
I didn't realize they both hit them that year.
Scooter Gennett was crazy because he's so little. It was pretty wild to see. I remember watching that highlight and be like, this dude hit 4 home runs in a game? That's crazy. What's kind of weird about it is only 6 of these guys are in the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of like anybody could do it on the right day. But
yeah, that's crazy to think. Only 6 of those guys. But then again, like you were just saying, anybody can. And I don't want to say get lucky, but, run into their pitch 4 times.
In one game. That's, yeah. You got to be feeling it, to do that over and over and over again. Because the likelihood that you're probably facing, 3 pitchers and almost at minimum, because maybe the first 2 were off the starter, but then after that you're into the bullpen, and you're talking about almost certainly facing 3 different looks. You know what I mean? So
especially in today's game nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, it's probably off the same guy. But anymore last 10, 15 years, it's got to be like 3 different pitchers that you're looking at. So,
Hell, that last one's probably coming off a position guy if you're getting 4 home runs.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. But either way, Nick Kurtz, it was such a cool game Friday night last week. Absolutely crushed it. Historic thing. Welcome to Cooperstown in some way. I'm sure that bat's headed up to New York, but that's kind of a memorializing thing. You know, whether he does anything else in baseball, I'm sure he's got a bright future ahead of him, but he did something one night.
That's true. It's crazy to think that there have been more perfect games in baseball than 4 hit games.
It's the hardest thing in the world to do.
You know, I mean, statistically, literally, there's 24 home run games and there's 24 perfect games that have been thrown.
Well, it's easier to strike somebody out than hit a baseball.
Oh, it damn sure is today.
Yeah, well, just theoretically speaking. I don't know what to tell you, man. That's just how it goes. But anyway, congrats to Nick Kurtz. That was pretty rad. And I mean, historically, it'll probably be a while before we see it again. But also, it could be later this year because we've already seen it twice in 2025. So
that's
all
true.
bets are off. And I mean that literally because in Cleveland, no more betting. We cannot do it. They are literally getting eaten alive by suspensions. Yesterday, Emmanuel Clase, the pound for pound, the most currently successful closer in baseball. I mean, if you had to like pick somebody who was the top closer in all of baseball for the last 3-4 years, it would probably be this dude. Gets unceremoniously suspended by MLB in connection with the ongoing sports betting investigation that they started when they suspended Luis Ortiz, his teammate, who is a starter for the Cleveland Guardians / Indians. And Luis Ortiz has been out for most of the year now. And
yeah, so it was like the beginning of June when that happened.
Yeah, and Clase is now on administrative leave for like over a month through August.
August 31st.
Yeah, and I have to imagine that that's a moving target. I don't think that that's a finite number. They say that no more Guardian team members are going to be suspended, but I don't know if I totally believe that. I don't know what they know. And obviously, nobody's going to say anything. It's kind of sounds like everybody's kind of under this quote unquote gag order. So nobody's going to be talking about it. But let's just go ahead and recap what we do know. What we know is that back in June, Luis Ortiz was suspended for 2 different pitches that he threw that wild prop bets placed against. And they were strange. They were definitely balls, but they were strange. One of them was like way outside.
Yeah, one of them was not even anywhere even close to even the catcher's,
Yeah. So I mean, so what do you like off the rip? What do you think about this situation and like where do you think it's gonna like go?
This like looking at the video, and especially like I just saw one earlier where it was talking about 40 times came in, started the 9th inning, bases empty. 22 of the times that he threw first pitch balls. So 18 of the time, first off, that's for a closer. Okay, I can move past, not getting ahead 1-0. But of those 22, 50% of them were what they consider non-competitive pitches, like where I just saw one. I'm sitting here and I have the video on. He threw it about 54 feet.
So wait, hold on. Let's back up real quick. Why would you kind of give it like a pass for a closer to throw the first pitch of ball more than 50% of the time?
Oh, I don't think. I mean, I'm saying I can kind of just look the other way, just because the simple fact is he's all amped up, he's ready to go, and the nerves are kind of like, all right, here I'm gonna rear back and throw this bitch as hard as I possibly can, and it kind of just goes a little haywire on him. But most of the pitches that
22 out of 40 times.
I mean, shit happens.
I don't think so, actually. I actually will disagree with that statement exactly. He's there to go throw 9 strikes typically. 9 pitches he has to throw for strikes as hard as he can. I know that sounds like a lot. I know that that is a
Well, not
dangerous
to
place to
mention
play,
nothing he
but
throws is straight either.
I don't know, man. What you're doing, is giving like more room for this excuse to exist, right? So like, yeah, it's a volatile position. Yeah, he throws wild pitches and he throws really fast. So it could presumably make sense that he could throw a ball more often than not on that first pitch. But is that completely true? I mean,
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of just playing devil's advocate here by saying that I could see this go the other way. Like as a coach, you don't ever want to see your guy come out of the bullpen and start 1-0. You
no,
always want
God, no.
you always want 0-1. I mean, it's just kind
Want
of
0-2?
the I mean, any situation, the hit probability from 0-0 to 0-1 drastically goes in favor of the pitcher. So anytime you can get ahead, I mean, it's already in your favor. And like I said, most of these pitches that they are saying are uncompetitive. I mean, it's not even an offer, like even an attempt to move their hands. It's the hitters are striding him and like, all right, I'm gonna spit on that. Like as soon as like he's coming down the mound. Like it's not even remotely close. It's
Not trying.
and unless this shit with Ortiz hadn't happened earlier this year, I don't think this like that people would have noticed this. But it also kind of goes to the fact of start 0-1 instead of 1-0, the numbers are going to be worse, and he's having the worst year of his career this year. Clase
Clase,
is.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely been a year to not remember when it comes to his pedigree. But then again, Cleveland itself has been kind of a stumbling kind of mid-tier team anyway. Detroit's been kind of all over the place, and it's the worst timing for it because Detroit has like really fell off the table really quick on this skid,
Yeah,
and
since the All
now
Star
would be
break,
the
they haven't been
time.
very good.
Yeah, now would be the time for Cleveland to kind of get their shit together, but that's not going to be easy without having a closer. Now, Cade Smith will probably do a good job if he doesn't get traded in that position. But I mean, to have like I said, baseball's best closer over the last few years just unavailable is going to be a difficult task to come back with. So, what? Here's a better question. If this is true, if somebody somewhere somehow is whispering in Clase and Ortiz ear about throwing balls and strikes and getting these micro bets propped up and making this kind of money, do you care?
In that situation, if it's the first pitch of an inning, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because I mean, I personally don't have the guts to bet on one pitch.
I mean, I do.
I want better odds than that. And I say
50-50
better
shot.
odds.
What do you mean?
I know that's good, but I'm saying like I want more than just one. I got one. It's one or nothing.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
to have multiple options there. I was a
yeah,
multiple choice kid growing up, my man.
yeah, I know, but if that is one of the like 4 legs of a parlay, and it's like this one's guaranteed, and it's for like 6 times the amount on like underdogs, say that is like a thing, like holy crap, like that would change the world. Let me go ahead and give you my answer because mine is the opposite. Emmanuel Clase and Ortiz are doing the equivalent of smoking weed under the bridge at a college. Like they are entering the gateway drug here, because if you can put this one tiny situation and fix that for a game outside of the game of baseball, now you can really kind of peel the onion back and you can have all sorts of chaos start to happen. Let's take Jack Caglione. This guy strikes out a ton. Who's to say he won't strike out again? And knowing that he's going to strike out on purpose. You know what I mean? Or like have a pitcher and a hitter work together to make money, or have a guy who commits more errors than not make one extra error. You know what I mean? Or a guy who is fantastic at stealing bases, if one in the right day against, one of the better catchers in baseball, Adley Rutschman's back there, and he just pops him. So, like, nobody's thinking about it because he's Adley Rutschman. But, do you understand? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Chandler Simpson, if he wants to not steal a base today, he could not steal a base today. And then you start to have games kind of take a little bit of a detour when it comes to competition. And the betterment of one, when you're playing a game of 24 on 24, it can really go sideways in a long run. And now you're starting to talk about like the 1919 Black Sox. Like very quickly, can you go from, well, it's just one ball on a first pitch at bat. And then you have like, they fixed the fucking World Series. They tried to destroy baseball to gain money. And I mean, get rich or die trying. That's the American dream, right? But it can go so quickly from one to the other. And it's actually kind of terrifying to see how quickly and how smart they could do this. And even more so, how smart these people are in investigating this stuff. Because you and I were there when we saw these first two pitches off of Ortiz that were being investigated. We're like, what is the point? What is happening? I don't even see a problem.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No, 100%. And it's crazy to think like, obviously it's there. It had, these pitches had to actually make a move in the needle for Vegas to actually care about it. And I mean, yeah. And it's to think it's such a minute point as ball one or strike one. It seems.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
So I'm saying like, we were talking about Ortiz, and like we see the video and it's like, all right, whatever. It's just two balls that are just shit pitches. But obviously, for them to, or for someone to pick up on that, it had to make the push the needle far enough, and in not in Vegas's favor, for them to pick up on the actual, like Vegas had to lose a lot of money.
Well, yeah, and I mean those are
more than we would think on a situation like that.
Well, those are like calculated numbers now, right? So like you have like Prize Picks and Underdog, those like micro betting, like prop bet kind of apps and websites and stuff. All those like have to go through Vegas, and they all have numbers and people that are checking those numbers. So if like this particular random first pitch ball prop hits big for a sizable amount of people, or a few people make huge bets on them, it's going to get flagged. You know what I mean? It's not like the old days where somebody has to literally physically be watching these guys place these bets. It's all being tabulated. It's all being run by like AI and programs and stuff like that. So like it gets hit red, and it's like, well, why'd that get hit red? And you look back and then you see this wild pitch, and you're like, okay, something's wrong here. And honestly, I think Ortiz kind of screwed Clase. Who knows how long Clase's been doing this, especially for just exactly what, we're talking about with this first pitch ball kind of thing. Like, it doesn't sound like it's too dramatically terrible of a thing. Just like he just starts out slow. He starts out wild. He just needs to settle in on a pitch or two. But who knows? He's a fucking professional baseball player. The likelihood that he can throw a strike burner down the pipe or high and inside and get that fucking corner, that's probably pretty high. And he's throwing over 50% of them. The first pitch is a ball when the game's on the
Yeah.
line. That's kind of wild, and it's all like secondarily thought about. And so if Ortiz didn't like botch his, cheating, maybe they wouldn't have gotten caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't
And
know.
think of it this way too. And I said that about, all right, yeah, he's ramped up. He's got greater probability to throw a ball. 95% of the time, closers were not closers before they got to the big leagues.
Of
You
course
know,
not.
they were starting pitchers at some capacity in their lifetime. So it wasn't like they just, oh, hey, let's make this guy a pitcher.
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah. So I mean I don't know. There's apparently a lot more to come out of this. I think, like I said earlier, the MLB has said to Cleveland that they don't plan on suspending anybody else. They are telling them not to talk about it. No one's allowed to have questions or have any kind of entanglement when it comes to this investigation until it's over. So we'll see what happens when it comes down. I don't expect us to hear too much until maybe, honestly, maybe even after the season. If I were Manfred, I would keep this hush hush until after the World Series when everything dies down, because baseball definitely goes dormant there for a few, maybe even like a month there before like they start to swirl around free agency and things like that. So I would keep it on the DL as long as possible, because it could be a pretty big powder keg if what you and I are talking about is even remotely possible. Like if you could just simply fix games as a professional athlete, holy shit, it could be a
Or
big deal.
just, and not even necessarily fix the game, just fix a scenario that is in your hands,
But
you know.
that ultimately will start to fix games, because
No,
that,
I mean, I get that. I'm just saying it right now. It's kind of just the scenario,
of
but
course,
yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah, you're right.
But I mean, I'd have to imagine that these guys could get the axe. I mean, Rule 21's pretty clear for the MLB. Big list of rules and do's and don'ts. If you are a player that could affect the outcome of a game, and you're found to have made a bet, you're banned for life. And what we know as a disgusting statement by your boy Bobo Manfred against the guy whose jersey you're wearing right now, Pete Rose, was banned for life. He is now passed away. God rest his soul. But his lifetime ban is now over, which is
Yep.
gross. But I mean, that's a stark reminder that apparently those dudes mean that.
Yeah. I mean, hell, what was it? The guy with the Pirates last year that got in trouble for betting on games, and he was
Tuco
just like some scrub.
Tuca Pika Mankato or something like that. His name's very hard to pronounce. I don't want to talk ill, but yes, that guy. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like he was betting outside of his games, and I guess gotten or no, he was betting on his games, and yeah, that was a weird situation. But yeah, no, it was like 3 games, and he got banned for life.
See, while I think that it is heavy handed, especially when it comes to like Pete Rose, because Pete Rose always bet for, the Reds to win as the coach. Like, why wouldn't you assume that he wants them to win? But when you bet on a sports game outcome as somebody who can change the outcome of a game, it's a very dangerous game, and I don't really know how else to manage it. I don't know how else to deal with it other than you can never come back, because it needs to be something that's like stark, like you never want to commit this crime. Like you're
Yeah.
going to you're prison for life, baseball prison for life, and you'll be marked black forever. Like you just blacklisted. See you later. Can never come back from this. this sucks. Like, your name is redacted from the baseball history. Actually, no, I take that back. It's highlighted in baseball.
Yeah,
history.
so it'd be highlighted and shunned upon, and
Yeah, so
it's like
I
the
mean,
scarlet leather.
yeah. So I guess we'll find out more as it goes. But for now, if you have Emmanuel Clase on your draft or your trade board, it's not going to happen. If he's on your fantasy team, you should probably go ahead and drop him, or at least put him on the IL, because that ain't going to help you none. So anyway, good luck, Cleveland. Race for impact. I don't know that that's over.
Yeah, I think it's going to get dirtier before we see any actually finite results.
I agree. We'll find out, but yeah, I don't see this being over at all. But gotta love Rob Manfred. He can't keep his name out of the papers. That dude, he loves the drama. He loves to be in charge of things. What?
Ryan Sandberg just passed away.
God bless, man.
I know.
What a terrible time. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, God rest his soul. Sucks.
Damn. 65.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. All right. Sorry to interrupt that.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. God bless. That sucks. I hate it.
Everyone started kind of worrying, I guess, not last weekend, the weekend before the All-Star game, or like the last homestand before the All-Star game. They were doing something in, I guess, his suite, and people were starting to get worried, like kind of like the same shit with like Hogan or Hulk Hogan, when they were like, "Oh yeah, no, he's fine," but yet everyone around him was acting completely different.
Right.
Like they were kind of bracing for impact.
He was a very class act baseball player. Cheers to him. I'm very sorry to hear that. My condolences to his family and the Chicago Cubs. Ew, but my condolences to the Chicago Cubs. And, damn, that's a town. But yeah, let's get back on task. Rob Manfred, that dude. Honestly, I was reading an article about this this topic we're about to talk about. I read that he was doing a year-long commissioner's tour of all 30 like clubhouses, and he just happened to be in Philly for their visit. Why are you visiting clubhouses during the season? And even more so, why are you starting to talk to these guys about these very serious and very off the field business of baseball conversations? It just seems like really poor form about this, right?
Yeah, just I mean, like have some feel. Know who your audience is. These guys don't need to or want to hear about this during the ongoing season.
Yeah, not right now. Yeah. So let me explain this a little bit more for anybody that hasn't heard this yet, or somebody that might be hearing about it later. Rob Manfred was visiting the Phillies, like I said, in their clubhouse, and there was a conversation about the business of baseball, and the topic of a salary cap unofficially started to come up. People say that Rob Manfred never directly said that the MLB needs a salary cap, but he did start to say that he's very concerned about the economics of baseball, and that there's some big time issues that seem to be coming towards the MLB centered around growing versus how much money is going out from the owner's standpoint, which I just don't understand why you would do this during the season, right?
I mentioned, why are you talking to the players about this? Like,
Yeah, right.
I mean, I get that they are the ones that where 90% of the money goes out to throughout baseball, but at the same time, like it's the owner's responsibility, not the players.
Right. And I mean, the MLB, like all other major sports entities, has representation, right? They have a union,
Yeah. They
and
got the players union.
they have union representatives that if you want to have a conversation, it's them. Call Tony Clark, have a conversation with him, right? I just find it very odd that he did that. And not only that, but he went straight towards some of the most vocal people in baseball. This is the same exact team with the same exact group of dudes that had quite a big issue with Jacob Mizorowski being named to the All-Star team over their own boy, Chris Sanchez. And they basically snubbed their nose at Rob Manfred for putting his nose in the All-Star voting. So then he comes straight to them and is like, all right, I want to poke the bear again, but I want to talk about your salaries. And I want to put a cap on how much money you guys make. I find it very suspect, and I kind of find it a little bit arrogant that he did that, right? But
I'm right there with you, yeah.
But I also I want you to kind of put some color on this, but I do want to say that I don't totally give the Phillies players a pass on their attitude either. I understand that you're trying to play baseball and you don't want to hear this shit, but you're grown men and you do make an inexorbitant amount of money. Is it just because you're frustrated about, not wanting to talk about something, or are you starting to get a little panic that you don't have an excuse as to why you make so much goddamn money?
I think it kind of reverts back to, the issue that we had during the, what was it, 2020 or no? When did we have the strike? The latest one where we started in July. Was it 21?
21 or 22? I think it was
21 we started like 20. Okay, so we started like a month late, right?
Yeah.
I think it all comes back to the issue that they were wanting then. There has to be that, and I don't think it has to be a salary cap. I think it has to be a salary floor, because it's like the rich just keep getting richer and the poor just keep getting more poor.
Well, I don't know if you can have one without the other, but sorry, keep going.
I know. I mean, I get that, but at some point you have to be able to. We shouldn't be seeing teams that are fighting to set the record for most losses in a single season, each year. Like these teams got to go out and put product on the field for as much as, people are giving their hard-earned money, to the teams. The owners have to do something. Can we justifiably say that someone is worth $45 million a year? Like the Soto contract that we're seeing right now, or, the Ohtani after the fact, once his deferments are all done. And hell, even Bryce Harper, he's at, I think it was 330. It's an astronomical fucking number for us to actually see that these guys are making.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, like, as a fan, it's like, man, that's super cool. Like, and as a kid, you're seeing those numbers, and you're like, oh shit, I want to do this. I want to, hone my craft and possibly get there one day. But I don't even know. Kind of just rambled off right there on that point.
Yeah.
Like, I just you've got to put. I don't necessarily think that for as much money as even us as fans and what little, like, just you and I are compared to the whole scheme of things, the money that is going into baseball. I mean, if they don't, like, if these owners and these players aren't getting this money, what's going to change? Like, are we going to get a new stadium every year? I mean, and they've got to spend money somehow. I'd rather it go to the players, but I mean, that's just my kind of 2 cents on that.
Okay, well, I can tell you an exact reason. They won't have to make the tickets cost so damn much.
Yeah, true.
That's exactly what it is.
That is a good point.
That's it. Like the higher the salaries are, the more expensive the tickets are, the more expensive the jersey are, the more expensive the beer is. Like these owners are not, and that's just anything business, right? So
Yeah.
the more you have to pay in payroll, the higher the prices are going to be, because the owners are not going to take a pay cut. The executives are not going to take a pay cut. Anybody that can help make sure that their salaries at least stabilize, if not growing year over year, is going to do exactly that. It's going to be, the biggest hit's going to be the people that work in the ballpark sweating, and then the people in the ballpark paying to sweat. Like, we are going to take the biggest hit, then the lowest employees are going to take another hit. And I love watching Bryce Harper play baseball, but I don't have a tangible reason why he should make this so much damn money. I want to read a quote that I found from the biggest nightmare in all of sports, Scott Boras, his agent. He said it perfectly wrong, and I know he meant to try and defend his client, but did you read this quote that I put on here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It was
read
directly
this
from the article. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this quote, and then I want to get your take on it, exactly like what you think of it. Scott Boras was quoted to say, "Young players need to talk with veterans like Harper. Harper has been fighting for the consequences of caps his whole life. Harper received the potential for a total of $10.9 million, a $9.9 million plus $1 million in roster bonuses for his draft signing back in 2010. 2 years later, in 2012, a draft cap was implemented, and the top paid player in the draft, Byron Buxton, only got $6 million. 15 drafts later, the top player is receiving $9.25 million, well below Harper. Harper knows what caps can do to players' rights, especially young players." Okay. What the hell is he trying to say to help these guys look better after, like, basically throwing a tantrum that their boss came in and started asking them some questions? Because whether they like it or not, Rob Manfred is the boss of baseball.
I think that's kind of, if anyone likes it or not, it doesn't matter.
It is that, yes, and I don't like it either. I think Rob Manfred's a joke, but he is, quote unquote, the CEO of baseball. He's in charge of the whole show. And
Yeah.
I mean, he came into one of his facilities, technically speaking, and was talking to an employee or a few employees about some things that might be coming up. And, Bryce Harper went bananas. So what do you think about this quote? Like, what does this do for you?
I think you said it pretty well when you were saying you think Boris was kind of going along the lines to try and defend his guy, but at the same time he was kind of basically stating, "Hey, these guys need more and more money." But in my opinion, that's kind of just a loaded question or a loaded answer from him, because these guys get more money. That means he gets more money. That sort of situation. But I really don't know how to take it other than, like you said, it's kind of a little temper tantrum, and we're not getting what we want. And it's just kind of, well, I want this. If you're not going to give it to me, well, fuck you.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll go way back. I'll take a big step back and say, I'm not going to feel bad for Harper or Buxton or whoever the top player this year that received $9.25 million. I guess maybe that they're quoting Skeens or something, but I don't care. You for signing your name, you get any more than $1 million. I'm not going to feel bad for you. Okay. I sign my name all the time. And guess what I have to do? Pay for it every single time, because I'm a normal human being. So I don't understand that world. So you're not going to get me to be like, yeah, you're right. I can't believe you would do that. That's bullshit. No, that's arrogance. Straight strewn out right above everybody's face and being like, yep, we don't really care. We want more money. And Scott Boras, who, just like you just said, he's just leeching off these players' talents. Like, that's all he is doing. Like, it's gross. He's gross. And I mean, again, I don't think that it was the right forum for this conversation, but I really, really don't think that Bryce Harper should have acted that way, and I definitely don't think that Boras should have defended himself that way. Nick Castellanos was quoted as to saying, posing the question, why are you talking about the MLB like it's owning a nail salon, like it's just something that is just so easily done, or it can go along the wayside for like nothing. I just don't think these people understand economics, right? And I don't think they care to understand it because they just want more.
Well,
As
they've
I
got someone that does it for them.
Right, and I mean, I'm not trying to like belittle them or make them sound like try and say that I'm smarter than them in any way, but they clearly don't have my best interest in mind because I love baseball. Granted, I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan. I love watching the Braves. I love hating the Red Sox and the Cubs. Like those things are true, but no matter what, I want to watch good baseball. And if it's still dog eat dog all the time, the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Royals and the Marlins and the Rays and obviously the A's, like if these teams are always going to be bad because they don't want to pay their players, and the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers and the Cubs are always going to be good because they overpay their players, I don't want to watch that shit. Like, and it gets old because the guys like Bryce Harper are going to go to the Philadelphia Phillies because they are going to overpay him. And they know it, he knows it, and we know it. And like it gets old over and over and over again. So like I don't know where to stand on this. I just feel like it's people having the wrong conversation at the wrong time and definitely taking the wrong fucking tone. So it's really it's complicated and honestly it's pretty gross. So the one guy that I definitely think should be heard a little bit louder is I think one of mine and yours favorite dudes in sports anyway, especially baseball. Mark DeRosa was just simply like positing a pretty level-headed kind of word of advice for the Phillies team, just like kind of watch your ass. And he said that the commissioner's a powerful guy. Don't fuck around with him. And he was alluding to like basically like he can get you drug tested at any time. Like he can stack the deck against you. So I don't know why you're poking the bear. You're in the middle of a playoff run. You're one of the best teams in baseball. If one of you goes down, like it could tatter a season, or actually more like 3 seasons worth of work, because a lot of these guys have been on the Phillies now for a while. That core group of dudes has been like marching towards a World Series title for a while. And if you pull one of those guys out, the Mets are going to win that division.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think you said it perfect right there, and I think Dero said it pretty great. I mean, as much as we don't want to agree, you know, Manfred's in a position of power. He's got all the leverage. As much as the players don't want to think that he does, he can really fuck with your livelihood.
Oh yeah.
And obviously I don't think it would come to that situation, or come to that situation where he would just hold a grudge to do that to someone, but if he wanted to he could. So I get what D-Rose saying, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, he was there as well.
I mean, I would assume that like the guys from the MLB network would probably be parading around with him because it's probably like some kind of a press opportunity, but I don't know. I didn't see any of the footage. I didn't really get any of this firsthand. I was just reading articles about it and being like, oh yeah, all of this makes perfect sense. What a shit show this conversation must have been. And of course it happened. It had to happen now with this kind of a team. Every bit of it's like, of course this happened, you know. So I don't necessarily know, but I do know that the Phillies players were not very thrilled with DeRosa by saying that. More so, I think, because like he's not just implicitly like backing them up as a former player, but he should stay objective. He's one of the biggest voices in the MLB, and he works for the MLB. Like more directly is Rob Manfred his boss than theirs, because he works for MLB Network, which is the media franchise that the MLB owns. So he put himself in a bad position by speaking up, but I actually I appreciate the objectivity there. Like, hey, here's some free advice. Be careful. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that this is gonna get really nasty. Does the CBA expire after this year or next year? Is
I
it
think it's
next year?
after next year, so they have to agree on a new one before the 2027 season.
Yeah. So I think that this is just like kind of the first ripple in a much bigger conversation that they're just going to have. And who knows, maybe this is going to bring everybody to the table faster and kind of get a better understanding. But what it is definitely going to do, whether they like it or not, is to get people like you and I who actually pay for these games and go to these games and buy these jerseys and go eat hot dogs and do the 9 for 9 and all that kind of stuff in a stadium where we're spending our hard-earned money on this shit, and it gets us thinking none of y'all care about us. Neither side gives a shit about us. Manfred's hoping that the owners can save some scratch and the players want to keep making more money next year and next contract. Nobody wants to think, are Mike and Chris going broke trying to support us and like love this game that they love to play and they love to watch us play? No, they don't give a shit about that. And that's what I know, and that's what's going to come up if they keep talking like this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like you just said. I mean, it's one thing to, and I wouldn't necessarily say we're going broke doing it, but we're literally spending our earned money to go watch other people play a game.
Yeah.
Play a game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's yes, we love it, and
Sure.
yes, I mean, unless something absolutely drastic happens in my life, or to the game itself, I don't think I'll ever not want to go to a major league game. But if it just keeps going the way it's going, we may be priced out in a couple years,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just societal. I mean, society wise, we just people may like an average family may not be able to afford to go to a game anymore.
Yeah.
We're sitting there a couple weeks ago, Sunday when you didn't go when the Yankees were in town. I'm sitting there talking to a family that I was sitting by myself, and this family was sitting next to me, and literally I was telling the dad, I was talking to the dad about the ticket package that we do, the 27 games, this, that, and the other, and the substantial like actual break we get, based on the fees. And he was just like, well, it cost me X amount of dollars, and I was like, well, shit, dude, that's like 4 games or 5 games for me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just one game. And now that didn't include lodging, or because they weren't from in town, and that didn't include food at the ballpark or anything else that they were doing outside of going to the game. And it's becoming crazy. Like a normal family, like I just said, it's they're going to get priced out in a couple years, and it's at fault of, I think, of everyone in this situation. And we've hell, I mean, I'm basically just, I feel like I'm repeating what you've said in just different terminology, but
Still true.
it's tough to see a game you love or something that you love go down a path you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I guess we'll have to find out how it goes, but um, I hope that both sides of this thing maybe take a beat and think about what's a little bit more important than cashing checks, because we spend a lot of our money and a lot of our checks to go watch that game, as you said, because it's a fun game to watch. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Ugly, ugly, ugly things coming for baseball if they don't figure this conversation out a bit better than that. Bad timing, bad subject, bad place, and bad people to have it with. Bryce Harper's notoriously a hothead. Nick Castellanos has to be on a poster every freaking time he goes to a baseball stadium. Most ill-timed person on earth. Rob Manfred, he's going to get that gap tooth knocked out. So it's bad all around. So I don't really have a whole lot else positive to talk about. The one thing I will say real quick before we end it, because we're up against it now, is congrats to Dusty Baker for being tapped to manage Team Nicaragua in the World Baseball Classic coming up in 2026. I thought you retired. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if he lives down there, if he's from there, or what. But
I don't know. I really don't. All I just saw was he was tabbed as the manager.
I mean, cheers to him. Cheers to that. I don't even know. I'd be interested to see what kind of team they're going to be sporting down there. Doesn't his son play? So I assume his son would probably be able to get on that team of some capacity. So
I guess, but I thought Dusty and was full blown USA. I mean,
I
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. You never know. So anyway, congrats to Dusty being tapped. Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of all I have. So
that's all I got as well.
So I mean, I guess like, subscribe, tell your friends if you like baseball, if they like baseball. The 108 Baseball Podcast. We're doing some stuff. We're talking about some things. We just love baseball so damn much. Tell everybody about it. We appreciate it. We love y'all. Chris, say goodbye.
Guys, appreciate all the love and support, and we'll be back same time next week.
Take care.
Later.
Wow.